With you in our weather impact alert center. You can see definitely tracking some active precipitation. We'll get to it in just a moment. We're going to go over kind of the impacts we're expected to see over the next couple of hours and what you could see into the morning hours tomorrow. Hence why we've pulled the weather impact alert days for tonight through tomorrow morning, because we're going to see the secondary batch of precipitation, which we're actually already seeing come in and bring some impacts, unfortunately, to those that have gone to the clash. We actually did see a little bit of a burst of rain and some sleet mixing in with that as well. It seems, though, that, racing seems to be back on there at the clash. So that's good news there. They're a little over halfway done. We are watching radar very closely. There's that persistent band. Remember, if you tuned in for the Weather Impact Show, we were looking at, Brad and I were looking at this band. Now it's moving up to Chatham and Martinsville. This is all up into northern portions of Southwest Virginia along that I-77, which, remember, traffic there was not doing so great as far as some of that potential. But then also you can see where we're seeing some purple show up. You know what that is? Yes, that would be sleet across portions of the area. And so we're talking King there in Stokes County, Reedsville, Rockingham County, maybe starting to see a little bit of that snow. I know that there was some heavy snow reported earlier in Mount Airy, and we did see that persistent band. We got some reports coming in. Our chief meteorologist, Tim Buckley, made a share on social. If you want to comment in what you're seeing, that helps us know what the radar is seeing is what's getting to the ground, or maybe you're seeing a different type of precipitation than radar is indicating. Those are all very, very helpful to us as meteorologists. We did see that band move through parts of Forsyth County, and of course that's where the clash is. Clash, of course, located right about, let's see if I can find it again. So there's I-40, so they are about here. But you can see how it moved over and definitely brought, oh, you can't see where I'm pointing. Brought some precipitation in to the area there very briefly, getting the track wet, and they slowed it down, and now they're back to racing on the short track there. So that's the good news there. Fans still there, which I'm just impressed. But you can see some of the purple, some of the sleet showing up, and that is, the cold air is mixing in. So we still have that warm air aloft, melting it a little bit, but it's not quite deep enough, so it's just a little plume of warm air maybe left, and that's creating some of that sleet there instead of it all being snow, which is expected to all take over as snow as we go towards the evening hours as things start to cool down. Temperatures, though, have remained pretty much on the warmer side of things, I guess I should say. If we go, that's the last 3 hours. Let's just go last hour. Actually, just go now and see what temperatures. Okay, so interesting to note that the temperatures have fallen. Look at that, Danville 32, 33 in Winston-Salem, 34 in Reedsville, 33 in Greensville, 35 in Burlington. Further to our south, the mid to upper 30s. So, yes, we are starting to drop those temperatures to freezing. So remember, the model said probably about 8 o'clock or so, maybe a little bit later, is when we start to see some of those impacts, and we're about 8 o'clock, so about right on time, so to speak. So some sleet falling, mixing with some snow, mixing with some rain, depending on what you're seeing there. And that really is going to be the big threat as we kind of go through the next couple of hours. Let me go back to the localized radar here. Oops, there's our... Look at this localized radar here before we do this. Yeah, so you can see some of those batches showing up. Mebane seeing just rain right now at 35 degrees there in Alamance County. Yanceyville over to Roxborough, maybe seeing a little burst of some snow as well in Caswell County. And again, Rockingham County seeing some rain, some snow mixing in there at times, some sleet mixing in maybe across Greensboro. At least northern Greensboro around the urban loop, the northern side of the urban loop, up towards Summerfield, dealing with a little bit of that mix right now at the moment. And then the rest of us, pretty dry. North Wilkesboro, so Wilkes County, dealing with a little bit of a rain-snow mix, probably based on the elevation there as well. But temperatures are starting to fall. The main rain has stayed off to our south and east, and as they cool down, they could see some not significant, but at least some patchy freezing rain in there. So looking at our models here, I will show you this. So you can see, okay, we're not doing so bad now. Temperatures are falling into the lower 30s. The depth of cold air, though, is not quite as drastic here. So maybe by the next couple hours, the warmth is a little like kind of like this. So this is a little too aggressive with some of the cooler air. But nonetheless, overnight, all of us cooling down below freezing, and that's when we'll see those intermittent snow showers. Some of us could pick upwards up to an inch. I think most of us will pick up less than that. And then as we go into our Thursday, warming into the mid to upper 30s through the afternoon there. And then as we go towards our Friday, another system moving in. But because it's downsloping on our side of the mountains, we'll see temperatures warm and bump up into the upper 30s to lower 40s. So that is going to be primarily rain for us, not really dealing with any wintry weather with that system. So that's the good news there. I'll show you the impacts here. Let's show you the snow contours. So there's our light snow. We're talking a trace to an inch, right? An inch at most for those that maybe get into some of those heavier snow bands. Those that don't see that, probably closer to half an inch. And it would be on grassy, elevated surfaces, not necessarily all over the pavement or anything like that. And so some roads, secondary roads, may become snow covered. If you get that burst of snow to kind of sit over an area or last for a little bit longer, you might see some slush on the roads into the morning. So that's really why we are extending that weather impact alert through Thursday morning. The snow's supposed to taper off, but then also travel could be a little dicey into the morning hours. Although we're not expecting super huge impacts here. If we look at the winter storm impact index here, or the winter storm severity index, they're expecting maybe some wintry weather. You can see in parts of Forsyth, though, to Guilford County, they have encountered a few inconveniences there, maybe from a little bit of a mix of higher amounts of snow or sleet, and then also a little bit of freezing rain. And so we'll have to watch where that sets up. The bigger impacts are definitely across the southeastern portions of the state, where you can see like Rocky Mountain area is expecting a few inconveniences from this weather as well. So those are the big impacts that you can expect as we go through the next 24 hours or so. So yes, we could see that wintry weather continue as we go through the overnight. There's your 7-day forecast. You can see temperatures warming into the mid-40s on Friday. That's definitely going to help with some sunshine. I don't think we see a whole lot of sunshine into our Thursday. Maybe I think into Fridays when we see most of that. And so that's kind of what we're looking at there. I'm trying to pull up. We want you all to let us know your questions. I'm trying to find our board here. Let's see if I can find it. I can just tell you that number. So give me just a moment here. Let me get out of this. All right, so the number is 336-379-5775. 336-379-5775. Again, 336-379-5775. And if you can text in your questions, we'll go ahead and get to those and to answer them for you. But again, we're not expecting huge impacts, just some minor inconveniences really tonight. We do have the winter weather advisories across the triad, and that will continue as we go through the overnight hours till about 10 o'clock tomorrow. That's there it is. Sandy was in here. Yeah, so you got questions about snow, we want to answer them. And so we want you to text in your questions. We're going to do another cut-in here at about 9 o'clock for 10 minutes or so. So we'll answer some of your